My name is Albert. From my earliest childhood, the world seemed to me a great and beautiful puzzle. While the other boys were chasing a ball, I could sit for hours and wonder why the needle of a compass always pointed north. They told me I was strange, that I thought too much. But I couldn't help it. Questions were born in my mind one after another, and I yearned to find the answers. My father gave me that compass when I was ill. To me, it was pure magic. An invisible force made the needle stubbornly look in one direction. I realized then that there were hidden laws in the universe that governed everything in existence. I decided that I would dedicate my life to unraveling them. School felt like a prison. Rote memorization, strict rules, and no freedom for thought, all of it stifled my curiosity. The teachers considered me a lazy and inept student. They valued discipline over imagination. "You will never amount to anything," Einstein, one of them, told me. I preferred to explore the world through the books I devoured and through the experiments I conducted in my own mind. I imagined what it would be like to ride on a beam of light. Would the world stand still? Would time itself stop? These thought experiments were my real classroom, my true education. In Switzerland, where I went to study, I could finally breathe freely. Here, originality of thought was valued. At the Zurich Polytechnic, I felt my mind come alive. The lectures were about the great mysteries of physics, the very questions that had haunted me since I was a boy. It was there I met Mileva, a brilliant and talented young woman who shared my passion for physics. She was the only woman in our class. She was not only my love, but my intellectual partner. We could argue for hours about science, and in these arguments, new ideas were born. To earn a living, I took a job as an expert in the patent office in Bern. A boring job, you might say. Not at all. It was quiet, methodical work that required careful analysis of other people's inventions. This process sharpened my mind for the puzzles of the universe. The patent office gave me a steady salary and, most importantly, time. While I was examining blueprints for newfangled contraptions, my mind was free to wander the cosmos. It was in this quiet office that my own theory, one that would revolutionize our understanding of space and time, began to take shape. The year 1905 became my annus mirabilis, my miracle year. I published 4 papers, each of which opened a new chapter in physics. They touched upon the nature of light, the size of atoms, and the famous equation, E equals mc, which revealed a deep connection between energy and mass. One of those papers was dedicated to the special theory of relativity. I dared to declare that time is not absolute. I proposed that it can flow differently for different observers, that it can stretch and shrink depending on how fast you move. It was a radical idea that challenged centuries of scientific thought. But that was only the beginning. For 10 years, I wrestled with a deeper problem: gravity. I had my happiest thought when I realized that a person in freefall does not feel their own weight. This simple idea was the key. Gravity and acceleration were 2 sides of the same coin. I came to understand that gravity is not a force pulling objects together, but a curvature in the very fabric of space-time caused by massive objects. A planet orbiting the sun is like a marble rolling around a bowling ball that has been placed on a rubber sheet. It is simply following the curve. My theory was considered madness by many, a beautiful mathematical fantasy with no connection to reality. It remained unproven until a total solar eclipse in 1919 offered a chance to test it. An expedition was sent to observe if the light from distant stars would indeed bend as it passed by the sun, just as I had predicted. The results were announced at a meeting of the Royal Society in London. The starlight had bent. My calculations were correct. The universe behaved as my theory described. In an instant, I became famous throughout the world. My name was in every newspaper. When the Nazis came to power in Germany, I, a Jew, had to flee. My books were burned, my theories denounced as Jewish physics. I found a new home in America, at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton. But my heart ached for Europe, which was being consumed by the darkness of war. I realized that scientific discoveries could bring not only good, but also terrible evil. The power locked within the atom, described by my own equation, could be used to create a weapon of unimaginable destruction. I was a pacifist, but I feared the Nazis would build such a weapon first. Reluctantly, I signed a letter to President Roosevelt, warning him of the danger and urging the United States to begin its own research. It was a decision that would haunt me for the rest of my life. When the bomb was used on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I was filled with a profound sense of grief and regret. I spent the rest of my life advocating for peace, for a world government, and for the abolition of nuclear weapons. I spoke out against nationalism and war, urging humanity to see itself as a single family. I do not know with what weapons World War III will be fought, I said, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. For the remainder of my days, I searched for a unified field theory, a single elegant equation that could describe all the forces of nature. I did not find it. Perhaps it was a dream to grant. But I never stopped believing in the power of the human mind and the goodness of the human heart. The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is comprehensible. There is a harmony in the universe, a beauty that we can grasp through science and art. The important thing is to never stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Never lose a holy curiosity.